Yo, good evening, comrades. Sharing a space here, because I've tried to be on different spaces today. All I can see is chivozi, you know. Bantu bali eyo banyumya ku activism, what has happened to their life, just sharing experiences. And yet the truth is, we have a serious war. We cannot sit and start talking about activism in a way. Some of the people that are speaking about their personal experiences, it is sending fears to many souls, how they are treated, how they are battered. Now, I did in prison, and I was like, my intention is not really to be there. Sorry, Chibrayo. My intention was not really to be in a space that people are talking about the experiences that have been horrific in their lives. For this week, maze akasera ngampuliriza victims of torture, those who have been in prison over corruption fight, kati activists who have also experienced the wrath. There are some topics that are good, but for me, I'm in fight mode. Siyayagala bimpe bindaivatinga or to weaken my spirit. I want to continue with the fight, depending on how we are, where we are. Actually, I wanted to get hosts, but then I hosting a space, never lawyers, but I was so busy to organize that space. And I invited some people who responded very late. Remember, can't postponing it. Otherwise, we are trying to first share the space. You're transnet. We need people to tell us because to tear to what flyers, what posters, what bracelets, what t-shirts. All that is good. Now, yeah, we need more people to either be informed on what to do now or to be told what they can do. Either way, this system of fighting corruption one day and then 5 days we are back to normal. To breaking a consistency affair. And some of these spaces are very educative, but personally, I don't need to really understand the situation anymore in Uganda. I don't need people to tell me how the army treats people in Uganda, how the police or the military treats different sectors, the fishermen, the activists, the students, the opposition. I don't need any of that. Dr. Stella soka kwetondera space ndowooza leero naadde ndi busy ate personally I could not manage to coordinate everything, so bampadde advice n'awabuddwamu that I could postpone it, and which I did. I decided, I think I reached in your DM, and I postponed that space. Probably most of the graphic guys are just responding over the offline. It's a Friday, people have been working busy schedule, so I did not really want to disturb any more other people. I decided to pull it off. The good thing had not reached out to so many DMs. I was just in the DM of the graphic people and those lawyers that I needed to show up. So yeah, Solomon said once I was in the space. I think you guys have all been there again, but I was too exhausted, and the conversation they were having, I felt for me, I've listened to those people narrating their story, the likes of Nicholas Opio. I've personally reached out to Agatha, and I know what she goes through. Nze personally conversation here yabadde nungi, yabadde educative, naye at the same time nze ndi corruption esaawa zino saagala liri kubeera nga mpuliriza emboozi that are filled with trauma. It's another way of sending fear to some of the people, confirming their fears. But also, I understand people need to be informed to understand some things. So for the general cause, I think the space was good. We have had all those.
Can you hear me? Volume here that again, so should I drop? Should I drop from the spaces in a volume problem?
No, doctor. Are you hearing me? Dr. Zenkulia, I can hear you. Brayo, thumbs up. Can you hear me? Brayo, okay. Doctor, you can hear me now. I was hearing you actually, doctor. I was hearing you. So, comrades, welcome to this space. And Mkulikeyo Spaces Zona. First of all, I would like to tell you that the fight against corruption is on, and for me, that is where my mind is stuck. I'm not able to even shift and think about any other thing right now. It is strictly corruption, day and night. And I believe you have heard from the activists. Dr. Stella, can you now hear me? Are you able to hear me? Maybe it's all right, perfect. Do you want to co-host again, or you just love to be a speaker? If you want co-host, you put thumbs up. If you don't want co-host, I mean, to our plan is a space here, because of the unavoidable circumstances, I decided to postpone it until we get everyone organized. I also understand the point of coordinating people. Yeah, so this is why basically I decided to open this space up, and I would wish all Ugandans to share this space once they join. That is my humble request. And secondly, we are going to talk about, things we can do now. Some of the key points and areas we can focus on now, because recently maybe we are setting our goals and standards too high, and we are not noticing that we need to first start with this small stuff. Like there is a lot of disorganization in the way some of us are organizing some of these things, and I'm saying that in particular with me personally. Nange lero nalabye I need to really coordinate myself and the people I'm trying to work with, let it be my friends or my group. Also, there is need to do more in whatever we are doing. There is need to do more because the fight is bigger, it's deep, you know. And also, it's good to hear from our activists who have been on Solomon's space. Nayandos, we need to have strategic conversations that can give us what to do when we are not on these spaces. And that is my thinking. That is why I want to hear from different people. What are they doing? What are they intending to do in the shortest future or the nearby future? And also to share what is being done by some of the people I know. Basically, to keep the fight on constantly. It can be different. It can be fought different. Some people were suggesting that we might need to postpone these street protests so that we first do more mobilization to have the numbers, which I agree with. But if we cannot have a discussion on what should we do now, so that when that day comes, we are able to have, we are able to call upon people and they will join effortlessly. These are the things I want us to discuss on. Nchimanyi spaces nyingi, there are so many spaces running, but for me, I don't really about the numbers on the space. I always focus on the small organized groups, organization. As long as it's a small group and it is speaking with the same language, same actions, they're on the same page, their impact could be huge, you know. So I really want to first of all thank all Ugandans who are doing something in their individual capacities, who are not just taking time to join these spaces and that's it. No, I want to thank those Ugandans who are doing something extra. I saw Dr. Stella, you were protesting with Lawyer Navianda and your family. That is good. That is lovely. I was very inspired personally to see that. And I think I also need to push for my family to one day have a group photo where we are all saying not corruption. I found that very fundamental. And it is these small things that I'm trying to get out of the public to know what individuals are doing outside there that I'm not aware that maybe I could use. Basically, nze ebyange bya practical. Knowing how to fight back Anita Monga and her gang, because we are fighting a big war and there is no time to sit down. Every single day we must do something to advance our fight. So every time I sit down and I think about it, I ask myself a simple question: what have you done? You know, so I cannot continue to say that we don't need numbers. Yes, we do need numbers, but if we don't do something right now to mobilize those numbers, then the day shall reach when we are supposed to have a nationwide protest, and then we shall go again to the same issue. We need numbers, you know. So I think I'm going to start with a few people.
Can I jump in before you get an audience? Because I didn't come to listen so much as I came to explain about the space. Can I do that before you go on and on, please?
Yes, doctor. I don't know if you're a speaker or a listener, because one or listener.
Don't worry, I have a million computers, a million phones, and I don't know which one I'm speaking on, but unless you can hear me, right? So I raised my hand and I came in early when you started. I think I was second only to Brayo, I left. And I came in because in terms of the space that you're organizing with the lawyers for the arrested comrades specifically, I think for me, what you're saying about coordination is important, right? So one, if Solomon Seranja has a space, which for you, I think you're saying from what I had in your introduction, it's not a priority for you to listen to what human rights defenders and activists have gone through because you know it all. I think for many younger protesters who were on the streets for the first time, who were arrested for the first time, who are now confronting what human rights work means, because they too are now activists standing against corruption. That space was really vital to listen to Nicolas saying, oh God, it's been so hard, but it's fulfilling. And to listen to everybody else, the different players, was important for them. So your priority of saying you want to focus on corruption is not their priority. And yet I think in terms of organizing and structuring the bail and sureties and arrest and trial session with the lawyers is really important too, in terms of the next practical steps for everybody that was arrested. And so in terms of coordination, we cannot have a space when Seranja has a space where the comrades are, and then we have a space for them and the lawyers. I think for me, it's not fair to tell an activist, come and listen to bail or come and listen to all the activists speaking. Two, advertisement for me is important. I don't know what your discipline is. My first degree is in mass communication and literature. Advertisement, telling people, giving word of mouth, sharing the flyer, notices about we are going to have a space, sharing it on our spaces and other people see it is important to bring the numbers in, unless we have DM'd all the 133 or 150 people who were arrested or went to the streets, as well as those who will go. So it's pointless for me, I think, to have a space where the people who are going to benefit the most initiates into protest culture, initiates into the court system, initiates into having a criminal record and having to face maybe a hearing or a trial or dismissal or punishment. It's important that those people come to the space. So how are we targeting them? How are we reaching them? The young protester Charles, who asked, I was released on bail and my sureties too on non-cash bail. When should I pay the money? How much money should I pay? That question for people who've been to court and prison many times, we know, oh, you said, yeah, but for a first timer, maybe he's working so hard to raise money to pay non-cash bail because he doesn't know. None of us have bothered to explain well enough what it means to go to jail and get non-cash bail or cash bail, what it means for sureties. So Charles was asking on behalf of very many other first-time detainees who have had a first-time charge and maybe they pleaded not guilty, and now they have to come to court for some hearings, maybe adjournment after adjournment after adjournment that will lead to a dismissal, or maybe there'll be a trial. So just to say to you, bring back our people, that I think that space is really important. One, for those people who are jailed, those people who are released on bail, those people who may have to stand before a judicial officer, a magistrate, or a judge. I don't think anyone went to high court. But two, it's important for the lawyers to be prepared. So Douglas is available. Aaron is ill. I don't know about Tobias. I don't know about George. I don't know about Katana. I don't know about BK. There was a range of lawyers, the Mario and Chirabo. There were a range of lawyers working with us. I think it would only be fair enough to give the lawyers some headspace and time, plan with them, get availability, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, I don't know, and then get the comrades on board. And I think for me that therefore, when I raised my hand, it was really around the practicalities of organizing such a space. When you suggest tomorrow, I don't know if tomorrow afternoon we will have reached out to those comrades who are released on bail. I don't know if we will have got an agreement from the lawyers. And I don't know about other clashing activities. So all I'm saying is for me, I'm available. I mean, tomorrow afternoon I have a conference in the US. I also have a space with LM Dada on Makerere University. I don't know if it was Saturday or Sunday, but I can be available if the majority are available, right? So I think for me, scheduling of activities is important, especially now that we're in the period of slump. Kind of fatigue has come on. Before we pick up again, we need to plan and coordinate better. So I guess I'm just saying, I'm available, but it doesn't mean that my time is free. I'm not sitting there waiting to be invited to come and host a space. I have other things to do, things that are part of the commitments I've made prior to the march starting, but also things that are important for me to have a life away from the march to Parliament. Is that clear? Bring back our people. Do you have questions for me?
That's very clear, Doctor, and I think you make very important points. Yeah, we learn along the way, and I want to thank you for always being available whenever we need you, Doctor. We don't take that for granted, and I agree with you that about tomorrow. Actually, it was a temporary suggestion from some of the people that were saying it is fine that maybe we could push it tomorrow, but it's not confirmed as well. And secondly, on the issue, I think you mentioned about the lawyers and all that, the people who were arrested. Yeah, they need time. For example, today one of the lawyers was telling me he has fatigue. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. And on coordination, that is that is a broader point, if I may be honest, because even in our protests, in everything we are trying to do right now, one of the things we are focusing on is to have good coordination amongst ourselves. So you are very hard, very clear, and very understood, Doctor. And yeah, maybe to say this, the issue of having that space, personally, I am interested in learning. I'm not someone who is educated so much about the law and what happens behind the law, but on the space of Solomon and the history or the conversation that was there right now, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you that Ugandans need to understand where they're coming from, or the history of some of the people that speak out, so that they can be prepared in different ways mentally. They can be also exposed to the information that maybe they didn't know. I did not say, however, that whatever was being said there, I know 100% what those people go through. No, I don't. I don't think I know everything that the activists go through. However, for me, like I have said, I am more focused into the practical part of the fight against corruption, and I will maybe interest myself in knowing how activists are treated in Uganda, because for sure I have just like I can use the experience I've seen, I've lived, to maybe determine if there is anything new that has been deployed by the regime to frustrate activists, lawyers, and that is something that I will also be informed of. But at the moment, I felt the conversation was important, and that is why I did not open the space, because I'd said, okay, I may not host the space with the lawyers and the legal people, but I will also not host the space at 7 to remove some of the listeners from the other side of Solomon. So this is why I decided to wait for Solomon and also go there and listen, Mpola to understand some of these things that those noble people were saying. So thank you, Doctor, for always giving us what we need to know and directing us. It's very important for everyone to know that nobody's an expert in this and nobody has so much experience in this. At least for you, Doctor, you can speak with some experience because you have first-hand experience in some of the areas. This is why I was even insisting that I will need you, because the last time on that space with the lawyers, besides Chelsea's question, you asked a very, very important questions that also I did not think about. So, yeah, I agree to that. However, back to this space, guys, welcome all of you. We share our space. We are going to talk about day-to-day activities that we can do. It can be in line with mobilization. It can be in line with a protest. It can be in line with sensitization and organization. We need to constantly do those things because we have a tough job to do. Ugandans are so slow to pick up, but they are picking up. that is what I can feel. We are not really fast into picking up this fight and taking up the responsibility. Now, together, everyone in their individual capacities. I'm seeing different doctors at the front line, lawyers at the front line, teachers at the front line, performing artists, and name it. They are all at the front line. Retired people, young people, educated and uneducated. They are trying to do something. So my conversation is basically on what we can do today to advance the fight, to make sure that the candle stays burning. And also, it's important in every war to first step back, and observe where to improve, where to stop putting your efforts there, where to focus on as oppressed people. So I think these stages and these conversations we are having, it is another way to step back and we are like, how can we now attack? We have already tested that every time we march, they will deploy. What other avenues haven't we exploited? What challenges have we met? How can we navigate across? This is the kind of conversation that we shall be getting some of the things to help us push further. Right now, many Ugandans I think, including myself, are agreeing to the fact that we need to organize another serious protest. The reason why 23rd was successful, it had time, and so many people were trying to, trying to find out how it will be done, what will happen that day, and all that. And this time, we are doing it back to back every Tuesday, every Thursday. However, it's getting misunderstood. People think that every Thursday we are marching and we are nowhere to be seen. No, actually, every Thursday we are doing different types of protests. Every Tuesday we are doing different types of protests. So we have to also speak a little bit more about that. Like, what can we do in those 2 days? I don't agree to the fact that we need to first step aside and then we wait until maybe after 2-3 weeks, then we go back on the street. That to me, I feel if we don't do these small things that must be done, then even if we start for a whole month quietly and then we march again to the street, it may not be of a big impact. I think what we are doing now, having these conversations, making sure that we are not leaving any area uncovered, making sure that we are advising each other, drawing lessons from the first experiences we've had. I think this is the way that will help us to see how further we can move on. Yeah, good girl. I'm happy to see you. I hope you're feeling a little bit better. Today you were not really that okay. And I'm going to request whoever requests for the microphone to speak, please share the space. Otherwise, we are requesting, I go on your timeline. If I don't find the space there, I'm not going to give you the microphone. It's as simple as that. Some of these things we have been saying them, and they are now becoming like our national anthem. Share the space, share the space, share the space. I mean, there are 2-3 buttons you can press and share the space. Done. But I will not dwell so much on that. Good girl, let's hear from you. How are you, and what's your say about what needs to be done now? The mic is yours, please.
Hi, my brother. Bring back our people. Bring back our people in the radio. I thought I talk too much, but you guys, you talk too much. Banana. I thought I talk too much, but you guys, you're something else. But this is what we need. Yeah, I'm doing better. I am not okay, but I'm doing better, most definitely. We have got to do something regardless of whatever we're going through. So yeah, again, I want to say hello to everyone on this space and brothers and sisters. Hope everyone is faring on well. It's been a journey. And of course, we're in the middle of a journey that is incomplete. And we said, unless Anita resigns, unless our demands are made, we are not remained. It doesn't matter how many we are. It doesn't matter how long it takes. We shall have to be on this journey regardless. Some people looked at this like, by the end of last week, like, we are done. No, we're not done. We're not done. In every battle, there's always a pause. Going back to the table, re-strategizing. We've got our soldiers were wounded. So we've got to take a small time, make sure everyone is okay. The wounded soldiers treated and go back to the drawing board and of course go back to the front line. So it's not over until it's over. So those of you who think we started this to be jokers just to say and make it look like we failed, just know it's not over. That's all I can say. It's not over. Right now what needs to be done is going back to the drawing boards, re-strategizing, re-energizing, remobilizing, re-educating, and of course see the way forward. So as long as Anita is in parliament, this movement is on, and hopefully the next time we hit the street will be once and for all. Yesterday, someone asked me about the regional sittings that they're planning to begin from Gulu and then later on go to the Eastern Mbari, and then Barara and then Central. To me, I think it's a mockery of the taxpayers. I just read from the NTV this evening saying that Ntoroko Hospital has no toilets, so the patients and the patients and their medical workers had to find where to ease themselves from. Definitely, these government priorities are very, 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 I don't know, not even funny. I don't know the right word to use. How do we have medical centers or hospitals with no toilets, but we have 5 billion, almost 20 billion to be spent on just rotating the parliament? okay, you want to protect the parliament, but look at Kampala. Kampala has been housing parliament for all the years we've had a parliament, right? But is Kampala a good place that we should say, because it houses the parliament, we have good roads, we have good hospitals, it is as bad as those areas that don't house it. So how is going to sit in Gulu going to be beneficial to the people of Gulu? These are some of the things we are saying that needs to be stopped. Any same Uganda doesn't, you don't have to be political to know that this should not be happening like this. We have a debt that is the last time I checked was 99 point something trillions. We live on debts. Why can't we cut on the luxuries? Some luxuries, because now it's like, it's like vibes. The parliament is now vibes. What are they going to say in Gulu that they cannot say here? What have they not said? How has the parliament sitting in Kampala helped us? So this is so annoying and frustrating and draining. One of the speakers was like, I wish I didn't know some things, but it's true. Knowing some things in Uganda is so draining and it's so annoying. So some of the things that we should be looking at is how we get ourselves to Gulu as soon as possible. If it means going to Gulu, we shall go there. If it means going to Gulu, we shall have to march wherever the Gulu. If people from Gulu can march to Namugongo, it means we can also march to Gulu, right? If people can march from Kabale to Namugongo, it means people from Kabale should start marching and we go to Gulu. In fact, the next call of campaign should be marching to Gulu. Marching to Gulu. Okay?
If I may ask, Precious, when is that sitting in Gulu? When are they planning to have that?
I think it is on 28th. Yeah, 28th. Yeah, I think 28th. So we have about 2 to 3 weeks to prepare for this, and that is good enough to mobilize how do you call a group of people moving? Remember, how do you call a group of people? It can't be. It can't be. It is called what? I don't know the right word. We should all march to Gulu, moving a very big group of people moving together towards something or marching towards something. I don't know how it is called, but yeah, I think these 2 weeks, 3 weeks that are remaining, we should use it to organize ourselves and start marching and start moving. You see people who always, always go to Namugongo for Matters Day. They start working weeks before. They start working. They plan months before. So I think we should also try to start planning on how we get ourselves to Gulu before that big date. And if nothing is done, if we let that happen, others and we just watch, I think we would have failed ourselves and failed. We would have failed ourselves and failed at so many levels. So yeah, my that's what I think should be done in the next few days.
Yeah, thank you very much. And for me, by the way, I don't naturally talk so much. It's just corruption making me talk so much. So that is it. Anyway, guys, some of you are requesting for the mic, and I'm not giving it to you because I've been on your timelines. You're not sharing the space. We are Dalaba guy. We are not going to request you. And also, we want to thank you for being here. But if sharing the space is a problem, then just be there in the audience or will you say, there's no problem. Nobody will say anything. But if you want to say something, then you share the space. Maybe you're coming from Gulu, so that the people in Gulu can pick up the conversation. It's as simple as that. The other thing I would like to request is if you're from Gulu and Mbale, because maybe Gulu we have 2 weeks. It's too early, but also it's never too late to do what's right. So if you're from Gulu and Mbale, I'm going to prioritize you guys to make sure you request for the mic. Tell us how is ground, what can we do to prepare the people in Mbale for that regional sittings, so that we can also take advantage of that. Parliament, Uganda. That is the intention. So if you're from Mbale, you're from Gulu, you're from Mbarara, and you're in Uganda, California, you're there right now. This space is actually for you. You are the people who would love to really hear from, to understand how to support you in those regions. Maybe there could be someone on this space who can do something to help you ease the job. But this space is for people who might be able to move information to those areas where Parliament is going to be. It's one of the things I really think we need to do now. Good Girl has already said it. I don't know the group of people marching to do something. Maybe we can call it Bantu migration. That is something different, though. But particularly, I want to thank our legal teams that have been there always helping us in so many things. Council Tobias, yeah, guys, I welcome you all. We are here having a conversation. What needs to be done today, now, to advance our fight? We know there are things that might need time to be perfected, and there are things that will not need time. So we are interested in those things that we have to constantly do, to have those big numbers people keep talking about. Personally, I believe small numbers which are organized can do so much, especially at this stage of mobilization, coordination, and organization. Small numbers can do so much. And also, small numbers are not easy to be arrested, especially if they are very organized, rather than having a big number that is not well organized, that is not well empowered. that can easily be arrested, and they start regretting, the whole thing of why they were fighting. When I was hearing from some of our people who were released on bail and, from prison, some of them haven't yet recovered. We are trying to support them in any way possible, especially with, supporting them mentally. And some are too strong because of the brutality they face. They have become like a rock, and others are used. They are used to being arrested, so there's like nothing like for them, like Tabuli Joe. These groups of people is what we are having right now in among some of our people who were arrested. But otherwise, personally, I'm very grateful that Ugandans are not relenting. Every day they are fighting, and that is good. That is a big sign. I want to borrow a statement where yesterday I had one of the people saying that it is not about the numbers, it's about the quality in the numbers. That the people who were arrested were really professions. They were not hooligans as they portray us to be. And that is what motivates me to keep going. This is something that is actually hurting so many land people, maybe even more than people who are not land. Because you are maybe better off. But reading the thuggery, the statements that are released by activists, when you see how much Anita Mong has used just last year, and I'm reading from Godwin Toko's tweet, you feel even a headache straight away. So this is when you hear some districts have no toilet, and they are crossing rivers to reach school, and someone is swindling billions and billions. It's no longer about millions, by the way. It's billions and trillions. Billions is becoming the new million in our parliament. Billions on curtains, billions on undergarments, billions on fuel, billions on moving parliament from one region to another. And when you talk about intern medics who benefit the majority of Ugandans, they are not prioritized. Things like this get me agitated, and I keep moving regardless. So I want to bring in Banana Cake. Banana Cake, please, the mic is yours. Tell us what do you see, what needs to be done now to advance our fight against corruption and for Anita to resign. The mic is yours, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is Rue. I'm actually of Zimbabwean origin, but I live in the UK. My work means that I work in Westminster, very close to Parliament in the UK. And I know, host, you said we should reshare. Maybe it might be good actually to just let people know as you're doing that we should be resharing if we want to speak, because I wasn't aware of that. That's what you want, so happy to do that. My platform actually is quite small, but what I have done, because I've been following you guys ever since the day before your first ever march that you did, I was listening in, I was recording some of the things that you were saying, I was sharing it on my Instagram where I've got a bit more people of influence on there. I was sharing that also on my TikTok as well, just so that people can be knowing what's going on. And actually one thing that I noticed as I've been speaking about this, it has felt, especially being in the UK right now, that everything that you guys are doing is being overshadowed by everything else that's going on in the world. Like, for example, in the UK, the riots that are going on. And I also noticed that when I was looking through TikTok, I wasn't seeing as much content of what's going on. So my suggestion really was going to be, have you guys thought about having a dedicated few people who are keeping people on different platforms informed, like your TikTok, like your Instagram, like your Facebook, because I think that's really where we need to be, screaming the most. And the reason why I say this as well is you want to be also speaking directly to the people. And I'm also when I say you, I sort of mean myself as a person supporting you guys. I think one of the things that we need to be doing is recognizing a list of people that are making your leaders rich. Where do they actually get their money? Where is their money coming from? And then you put pressure on those people. If it's a matter of boycotting and making sure that people are not spending money for businesses that these people might have, if it's a case where they're doing certain deals with certain organizations that pride themselves on human rights, that pride on themselves on equality or any sort of statement like that, I think that would be a really good thing to explore. But also, I know that one of the things you've been calling for is Anita must resign. But what are some of the policies that you guys are wanting to see change? Because, when I've come into the sessions, I'm like, okay, yeah, Anita must resign. And that's the, statement I've been going with on my platforms. But, similar to what happened in Kenya, they were really adamant. They wanted that finance bill to be completely done away with. And so is there a particular bill? Is there a particular policy that you guys are speaking about that we can also be bringing to light? Because I think influencing policy is a lot more powerful than maybe the person that's sort of doing it, and not saying that that's a wrong aim and one that should continue, but is there sort of like documents that you can be sharing publicly that maybe I haven't seen? Maybe you just need to direct me in the right way. But again, this information, you can use social media to be amplifying it. Last thing I would say is the media is not our friend. So especially the Western media that has a lot more influence to communicate with our people, they're not covering what's going on in Uganda. I can't tell you a news outlet in the West that is even spoken about the fact that Uganda's having protests, Nigeria's having protests. They were still, protesting Kenya. They're not talking about that. We've got a lot of issues going on in Zimbabwe right now, and that's why I'm so supportive of this, because your fight is the fight for a lot of us who are still under dictatorship. And so one of the things that I would say is let's build our own media, because that's where the power is. If we can build our own media, if we can grow it to the point where we cannot be ignored, that's going to be the most powerful thing. I understand marching on the street is equally as important, and well done, guys, for doing that, because that is really important. But how can we also ensure we flood the internet, flood the media, so that you cannot be ignored? I think that's probably the next best step here. Thank you for your platform. Thank you for risking your lives, and thank you for all that you're doing. I love you guys.
And thank you for sharing with us, my dear. I'm going to read, guys, I'm noting down, so we need to be serious. The things have changed. I'm going to read for you what Banana Cake has proposed, and I think they are so important points. The first thing she said is we need to have a small team, a small dedicated team of individuals who keep giving us information on different platforms, social media, that can be TikTok, Instagram, and all that. The second point she said is identifying those who enable, or we can call them enablers of our oppressors, and we try to, we isolate them and their businesses. I think I've seen that in Kenya, and it really works. And also it sends fear to those who are working hard to become future enablers of dictatorship. The third thing she said, it is to have documents or policies, to have at least some policies that we could circulate on social media as we fight against corruption and Anita Mong. That one I also find it very serious. But my most important point from her is to build our own media, since media doesn't have our back. For me, this is very, very important, because so many people have been crying, oh, we need media, oh, we need media. This point of building our own media is so crucial, because that way we can at least rely on our media than being there and thinking Don Wanyama of New Vision is going to help us say something positive about our fight. And we all know that media in Uganda is censored, it's controlled. Even the few media houses that are trying to do something for the people, they are getting a lot of threats and all that. So thank you, our sister from Zimbabwe. We send love to you guys of Zimbabwe. And we know we are Africans. This boundary stuff should not really hoodwink us. We love you, and we pray that you also overcome your dictatorship in your country. We follow closely what's going on there. So yeah, thank you very much for those beautiful ideas. And let's proceed to Suna. Suna, I know there is a suggestion of policies that we could circulate on social media. I would love you to, if you can, to speak a little bit on that. I think for starters, we had a list of demands that we are requesting Anita to resign as our first demand, and we have not yet exploited the others, because we want to make sure that the first demand is heard, so that we can move to the rest. We don't want to jump to another demand before the first one is given attention it deserves. So are there some policies we have, and if they're there, how can we circulate them? How can we have them reproduced and circulated on social media? Otherwise, the mic is yours sooner. Guys, Paul Senyonga, you requested for the mic and you dropped, and you had not shared the space as well. Guys, if you're going to request for the mic, I humbly request you share the space and you request for the mic, so that this space is recorded, it will remain on your timeline. And also, if there is someone on your timeline who doesn't follow me, who doesn't know anything about this conversation, could be able to join. It's just a humble request. Thank you all. Go on sooner.
Thank you so much, my brother. Bring back our people. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this space. First of all, before I go to the sharing of our demands and our content, I want to respond to the sister from Zimbabwe, her suggestion, creating our own media. It's so important. It's very, very important, because how do we create our own media? We're not going to set up a TV station or radio station. It is creating our spaces, giving them power. When we come here and you really want this, and you don't share the content, you don't believe. You are not a believer. You are just a mediocre. The first thing that if we have to get the power is to share the space. We are creating our own media, because for me, like, is a policy, every space that I join, because what's the purpose of me joining the space where I don't want other people to come and listen? Then I'm selfish, I'm corrupt. You get? So if we are saying we want to create a media and we agree, how do we create a media that we can't even empower ourselves? If Bring Back Our People organizes the space, the first thing I do when I join the space, even before I listen to what he's speaking, I share the space. That's the first thing. That means I'm sharing this information to other people that are not yet aware that there's something going on. Because I believe whatever is being discussed there has sense. It's building a nation. So if we need to create a media, we are not going to create radio stations. We don't have money. We're not going to create radio station. We don't have money. But we can create a media from here. Share the space so that it can have 10,000 people. There are people that have audience, like Good Girls. She has a space. It has never gone to 2,000 when we're talking about this, unless when she has mobilized maybe like those people that have millions of followers. So if we are discussing in our own state as like ordinary Ugandans, and you believe, you are telling us that you believe, what stops you from sharing? Because why do you go admire other spaces that have 10,000 people and you cannot share your own space? And you're saying here, we can make it. How are we going to make it? To the minimum thing that you can do, you cannot share it. So like, what do you lose, for example, sharing a space? So how do we get the power how do we get the power? By empowering ourselves. We can create the media. We can create these spaces trend by sharing those spaces. So someone will respect the space, because you guys don't know, but when you're on timeline, you always see that someone is in that space. So when you try to people there, you'll see that the space is being attended by many people. So everyone will feel like he or she want to be there in that space. And that's how we create the media. So it's not we are going to solicit the money and buy a radio station or TV. It's not what she means. Social media has the power, but who gives it the power? It is you. Even if you have one follower, share the space. Because how will the numbers come? They won't come automatically. They will come when people are sharing that space. But some Ugandans actually don't look far. And some Ugandans are so much selfish. I want to leave that. Okay, then the second thing is about our campaign. Yes, we can translate the material. I think now it is time that we translate the material so that our material can be appealing to every region. Like we translate the material because we'll be talking about translating material. But now look at this. If me, I'm from Kigezi, and I land on the material on social media that is explaining things from Kigezi, explaining Kinkizi, the problems of Kinkizi, explain the problem of Ruchiga. I'll even share it in my group, the Ruchiga group, because some people have their groups from their villages. I'll get that material and share it. If I land on the material that is addressing the problems of Acholi, the problems in Pabo, problems in Parabe, problems, or those, so I'll even share that tweet in my group from our village. So by that, we are extending to the villages automatically because the message is trending. I wanted to speak in but because I was busy moving, I wanted to speak in Seranja's space about activism. Like whoever sees a problem and talks about it and acts upon that problem is an activist. Doesn't matter. That's why people who understand activism, they don't understand. Activists are all I don't know which the last village in your town. But as long as that person sees something and acts on it, he's considered as an activist. Name Uganda was activists. No, that's why into activist aliye mu kyalo agamba nti abantu balina okufuna amazzi amayonjo alwanira amazzi amayonjo in the village there is an activist is the same as you and me ishtegera just lwakuba yetanafuna cameras and all that tanafuna social media. So how do we reach to that activist ali mu kyalo eyo? By sharing the message abelenga so gisoma mu lulimi lwe in their own language. Nti activist ali once very very deep in the village banafuna ko mukisana bamweza ka smartphone mugambo chimanyi Ugandans are saying in Pabo we don't have water, and actually we don't have the water here. Ishtegera he will feel connected to the people but amanyi, and that's how we will reach to the every part of the country. Guys, talking about that is my input. Then I found a good girl talking about this regionalization of parliament. But these guys are going to for me, I thought it is 15, but if it is 28th, it means we still have a great time. We still have a great time. And how do we now rebrand? How do we rebrand the merged parliament? How do we rebrand? Because we need to rebrand it. There is a need to rebrand it. But how are we going to rebrand it? By being creative, by also trying to gender name so that we don't look conservative people don't change. We don't want to embrace new ideas and to put new wine in the new wine skin. But if there is something that is going on, we have to put it on top of the campaign, push the agendas so that now because it's a conversation right now, it's a conversation on social media and we cannot divert people. People are saying they are rejecting this. So how do we bring those people, even those are rejecting the regional parliament, to come on board with us? How do we do that? How are we going to do that? It means creative, and then we put this onto our campaign. We put whoever is saying that we are rejecting the bill, we put them on part of us. So whoever rejects the bill is part of us. I mean, whoever is rejecting the regional parliament is part of us. Whoever rejects, so that we get so that we get now massively. I want to remind you. How did we manage to get the people for merged parliament? How did we manage to get? Because we pushed this and we pushed it day and night, morning, evening. We pushed it that everyone started talking about it. Everyone reject. I mean, merged parliament. Never protesting that they talked about merged parliament. So if we feel that we can do this, and we have time, let us now go to rejecting the regional parliament, because it's at the end of the day it's still the same thing, because and they are going to misuse the money. So for me personally, my suggestion was that let us put let us to andike ebigambo, because this parliament is not taken agenda guru yoka. But the people in the northern, especially our leaders, our Siru, but they are branding people that are opposing as tribal. So what we have to do is to reject the regional parliament in its entirety. We are not just about guru. We are saying that it shouldn't go in the east, in the western region. So precious amani nyachitara or Charles tumwebaza amanyo nyachitara bakuyetinga content mu nyachitara bagamba abantu b'emitoma, abantu b'erubirizi, abantu b'eshema, abantu b'entungamo, abantu b'erukiga, abantu b'ekabale, abantu b'embalala, abantu b'ebanda nti twayanga. These guys are spending the money, yet you guys don't have hospitals in Shema there. Ochitegera mukuyetinga content oyo mu lulimi lwa musoda asobola okugenda eyo. Ochitegera from now kade naba northern now kuyetinga content mu lulimi lwa bagambe bwogenda humanitarian malwaliro. These guys are coming there to waste the money, which money would have constructed a community hospital in Rila, in Kitigum, in what? Amuru, in Padel, in Gulu. 5 billion people can construct 10 mini hospitals, 1 health centers in 10 districts. So katubagambe nti alimu Kitgum, you are missing a community hospital. So do you want a mini hospital or in your district or yagala parliament je? What will someone choose? Someone will say, how do I benefit from parliament okuja mu area yangu? So we have to back over in that way. Tubakube take one parliament bagambo yagala parliament mu kitundu kyo obo yagala chi? Do you want parliament or you want a health center in your sub county? Omuntu ali mchawani wabanga msiru nyo ajagamba nze njagala because how do I benefit from that? So tubakube wetu then parliament egenda kujja mu central tubikole mu Luganda from now mu Luganda tukube gundi ezo bagambe okay egenda Masaka gowe Masaka ofunira muwa ogende simanyi nyo Masaka bulungi bogende yo oyina edwali teririyo okay districts ziri mu Buganda Luwero you are going to lose singa zino sente bagenda Masaka 5 billion zalibadde zikuzimbira health center ewansi ekabunyate ewansi so okay gwe owe nakasongola naye walibadde ofune ewansi eyo bamugolo walibadde ofune health center ne bano bagayi bagenda parliament Masaka so tubakube gundi munimi z'abantu by that actually kitegeeza tugenda deeper penetrating deeper mu bantu okitegeera moyo omuntu wa wansi activist wa wansi yanoonya ddo omukisa oguyimirira naye neggwanga okitegeera nenga tabifunangako so then tugendere mu eastern bagenda gitwala Mbale kadde tubakube mu Lugisu tubagambe abagisu nti gwali Emanafwa ali Bududa ali Sironko ali Namisindwa ogenda funira muwa agenda funira muwa mu parliament so tubakube gundi eyo mu nnimi zaabwe zibategeera kitegeeza nti omuntu omugisu ava Sironko anaalaba kagundi ka post kano ajja kasharinga Sironko ajja kasharinga mu group ya Sironko gyalimu eyo mukyala abomukyalo bakalabe bagambe kumbe bano bagayi bagenda spending center this man actually would have built for us a hospital here Bududa waneno so 10 districts in each region can have health center kwezo sente 5 billion zibagendo spendinga but wakubira mu ekyo tusobola bakuba hands down ngati bakuteyo okitegeera but also it is also helping us to rebrand our movement okitegeera to rebrand our movement efune amanyi because the reality is ebadde say and because we have not twate tujibranding nze abantu mu discussion ezimbagamba it spaces zobera munga bagamba it's all right like that so how do we rebrand it but how do we send it to the local community now if it is 28th bagenda ogenda bagulu kitegeeza on that day it's no longer marching to parliament it is occupying Kampala and occupy all cities kitegeeza bagenda gulu abantu balina occupying gulu balina occupying ni Kampala balina occupying ne cities whatever they banagenda we announce occupy cities because when agenda Mbala tugambe occupy cities kitegeeza Kampala it shut down all the people that are marching to the city businesses were closed motoka zitambula and all that so that to take away mbera otherwise we need to rebrand now to berenga to serious and announcing something with a lot of power together because kati wetuga to announcing something ngati to announcing nga bulijwa kati no ku announcing ebintu ngabiri too much first of all ngabiri too much no mtu ayogeza dobo siku tugamba we are announcing a national shutdown just like that no bofuno muzinda lugamba we are announcing a nationwide shutdown no transport no buses no what now no business in Kampala so that awulira first time agambe bana abantu serious not like we tubadde mu government no but that also sends a very big voice no abango afunye recording ajije social media one bana julirako omukyala jagamba bana bagayi bali serious so I think I've tried to exhaust some of the things that I wanted to say. But it is very, very important. Creative. It is very important also to rebrand this movement. It's also very important to localize this protest now. It's also very important that and then as we send a very big message to the people. How are we going to send the people? Is by making every Ugandan an activist. Is by also reaching out to every activist. Wali abantu mchali wa activists neba mtu banafuna kamera twaina smartphones banafuna mukasa nafuna nalaba ka flyer kali mulimi lwalimu na yaja kujoinga jagamba how do I join those people okitegera how do I join those people kati the question ebere how do I join those people kitegeza we have created activists we have reactivated those activists abade dormant mu byaleyo but also we are sending the protest to every village every community buli omwalo izinga people raise against those politicians abalimba because I saw a call Anthony from Kirak naliko Kirak obugudo bubite eri masanyazo tambula kilometers nga oba 8 tosanze wa Dakalwaliro and in his line people in Kampala that people who are opposing it are tribal but they don't want Northern to benefit so how ingagamati people in Kampala for them they have TVs so they have been watching the MPs in Gabatesa so no mubuza okay if you want to take it to Gulu how are those people of Gulu going to watch them mugenda bakunganya babalabe ngamutesa how are they going to watch still they are not going to watch because tabagenda bakulia TV in one day they are not going to buy them TV and they are not going to collect all the people of Northern Uganda to bring them in a stadium balabe parliament so what is the logic behind nonsense there is nothing completely no logic no common sense that means we have to go against these people but to avoid looking like as if bebatugamba we are only opposing the north we start campaign generally ekuba zonna ekuba Mbala because Mbala is going to host ngekuba Mbala because Mbala is going to host ngekuba Gulu because Gulu is going to host ngekuba Masaka because Masaka okitegera so that tell our excuse of abantu bakuba Gulu you can know campaign again to all the 4 regions that are going to host this match parliament when we do like that I'm telling you tugenda kwatu tusedala once ku muntu activist asembayo once eyo omusajja yenywera kawalijike nenga bambi ebigenda master bikola ki tabyagala okitegera nga abadde alinda kulaba na Uganda how they do bambi tamanyina kiti akola so we need to activate all those people guys as I finish you lose nothing to share this space. I want to return that in Gamaliza. But to come space, you are a believer, you want this to happen. What stops you from sharing the space? But space to you should have 30 shares, unless you mediocre imba. Someone from Zimbabwe, Agambi, we create a media, we create our own media. But we are not going to create TVs, we are not going to create a radio station, between us center. We can make these spaces go viral. All people organize the space, share it. You lose nothing. We can say twagala space affairs verema abantu ngeze nsera verema abantu but gwe mutu space tuyagala sharing ate no tandika ogenda muzaba yabala bazona ogenda mu yabana Kenya ogenda mu yabana Nigeria amuzima abantu bangi gwe join mu Uganda mulimu abantu 10 mulimu only 30 people on social media. No, there are so many people, but because you are selfish, only selfish, you are just selfish. Learn to prioritize your country. Oleme kwegomba bintu byabala omukazi obango ino omukazi waka ngowegomba wa neighbor, make your wife beautiful, buy for her things she wants. Tewegomba wa neighbor mwagala ko neighbor, you buy for her what she wants at your home so that organizing thousands of people. We have people on social media. But what stops bring back people? No, but you have your followers. Share the space. The followers let me share also my followers. Share that. That's why we are creating a change. We can't create it from just a small things, guys. We have the power, but we don't believe that we have the power. If you're a believer, share the space. If you're not a believer, maybe we shall overemphasize that so that you can become a believer. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, Suna. General Idi Amin, that a second. Squad the microphone, wakubato na sharing a space kutayimura inyo. Chimanyo linaba followers batano sifudeyo. Na yeye ngenda kuwa microphone. I think maybe sharing the space, maybe you're new on X, and it's a chikufuki devuzivu. Na yeye ngwade meikeno, if you can, sharing a space before you start speaking. I'll keep checking there. And if you are not able to share this space, next time I will not be able to give you the mic unless I'm not the one hosting, you know. So, but guy, this is how we create momentum in our matched parliament. When we were starting to fight against corruption, or in our small groups, I know these conversations did not start when we are all on this space. Some of you, it found you in your bedrooms when it is in newspapers. Some of you found it on TV. What I'm trying to say is, it started with small conversations. And one of the things we first heard from Ugandans when we were starting this is, how can we bring national TV? You know, how can we bring NBS and all those people, influencers on? And we had a huge responsibility to respond. First, you need to know influencers. There is a reason why they are influencers. They are paid to influence. Some of them even have contracts, so they may be jeopardized, you know, because maybe it's not working with their bosses' principles. The second issue was about the media. We were saying, if we do what we need to do, what needs to be done, the media will definitely jump on it. And you also, the first, it was putting our people, our brothers and sisters like Cynthia George as the leaders of this protest, and which it ended up being a lie, and the public got to know it because after displaying wrong information, it gained even more momentum. So what the media is us, people. The media sells to people like us. Otherwise, if there is any media house that is going to make the news and it keeps it in their own media houses, then that's not a media house. But they have to make the news and then bring it to the public. And we are the public. So I don't want people to come here and then they begin saying, NTV, NBS. Personally, I don't care about media. You know, I don't need media to understand how corruption affects me or my family or any Ugandan or even those media houses. You know, we have to be very assertive in our small numbers, and we have to remain committed. You have to understand that your problem is my problem, you who is listening to me right now, and that is corruption. And how can we do what needs to be done to solve that problem without media? If media joins, fine and good. We have had someone from Zimbabwe who has been telling us that she has been following online on social media, but not on NTV or NBS, or not even on BBC. So, do not underestimate your time and your power. If you are serious on this issue, if you constantly keep doing those small things that very many people are requesting you to do, it will be helpful. It will be helpful so much. And also, I would request that if you have TikTok account, please visit there regularly, and you be active there, just like how some of us are active on X here. The truth is, we are so many Ugandans, and it will be not cool to have someone very active on X, then the same person very active on YouTube, then the same person very active on Instagram. We can all be active there, but the one who is more active there will eventually be the one to always constantly sharing these spaces there. But we are all going to participate on those platforms. If I bring in General Idi, I mean, I want to give Good Girl an opportunity because I'm seeing your hand is up. Please go on.
Yeah, thank you so much. I when you talked about TikTok, I felt I had something to say. So yesterday, I have a TikTok account actually, but this TikTok account, it's very hard to manage. It's very hard to manage TikTok and the same time Twitter. Twitter and TikTok have different contents altogether, so it's really hard. But maybe 3 months ago, I opened up a TikTok account because I felt we also needed to have. I needed to understand. I have always wanted to know. Get into TikTok, but every time I go there, their kind of contents really defeated me so many times. Then I'm like, I can't record myself singing, I can't record myself doing what? I'm not good at this. I'm not, really content for TikTok is quite very different. It's not like what I think in my mind. Let's come and type it for you guys here and go. It is one platform that can challenge you, and then you understand that you need to be more creative. TikTok is it's a more for creative arts, something. People may take it for granted that TikTok it has, people like do this, but the content is complex. Anyway, that is for me, maybe not for other people. So 4 months ago, like that, I opened up a TikTok account. Because I was there for 5 years, had an account, a very big account, and then, if you can do it, I can try. Some of the colleagues that I had here had TikTok accounts, so I opened one. But the good news is I also understood that if you put a video there, people like it, especially. If you put messages of change, people like it. So it's not. It is one account that I started with, putting their speeches from Bobby Wine, speeches from whoever spoke. I put, but mostly I used content from the president. And to my surprise, it kept growing. So as I speak, I have around 20, almost 19 point something, almost 20K followers. To my surprise, so yeah, I always go there once in a while. I'm not active there. I don't know how to use most of the features there, but like I wanted to say that do not. For the points you're saying that do not underestimate yourself. I went there underestimating myself, but of course, getting 20K followers is not a joke, But I would never have gotten those followers if I kept on underestimating myself. So it starts with 1 follower, 2 followers, 3 followers. It doesn't matter how you check. What matters is you put the message out there and it's being seen. I would post 1 video or 2 or 3. I even forget I have it there. Go back maybe after 2 weeks. I find I have 50 followers, and that always excited me to that made me like that week to put more 3-4 videos, And then sometimes I forgot to have it. Then when I see something, then I remember I go back like that. But what am I saying? The most important is those 50 followers that followed me saw the video, because with TikTok, it will show you how many people viewed it, how many people liked it, how many, to give you a whole, that means that the message that you put out there is seen. It doesn't matter how many people you have, you can actually, TikTok is almost like Twitter. Like if you can put your message and people may not like it, but they will tell you if 1,000 people have viewed it. So if your aim is to spread a certain message, it will be done. Because if I have 1,000 people have viewed my video, it means they have seen it. It doesn't matter if they have liked it. It doesn't matter if they have pushed it or shared it. But at least I'm sure that whatever I'm putting there, people are seeing it. So it is the same as these messages of corruption. When I had with it on TikTok, I remember I have my TikTok account. So I keep putting there. Of course, it didn't get enough attention that I wanted. Maybe I would find I have 30 likes, 20 likes, but it had 1K views. And in my mind, okay, 1K people have seen it. Then you put another one, maybe to get 5 likes. The thing is, as long as people keep seeing these messages out there. So it is the same people who have around 5, 10, 15. You're saying, something has a few followers, it doesn't matter. But take your message, let your 5 people see it, let your 10 people see it, let your 5, it always, you having 200K followers doesn't make me like I'm the only one who should know. Everyone should. And those 200K that I have did not just come in one day. Don't wait. Don't wait. Imagine if I tell you that I have been able to get all this maybe in 3 years. So did they have to wait for 3 years to get 200K then to start, talking about change? No, I started. Those who know me, I have always, said the things regardless of how many numbers I have. It means if you keep saying what you're saying, there are so many people that will understand and will love what you want. What you're feeding them, it will help you grow. How do you grow? By spreading the message that you want. The audience that you want will always find you. So do not underestimate yourself. It doesn't matter how many people you have. It doesn't matter, how many people have liked it, how many people have shared it. But as long as the message is there, plus to me, 1 person, 2 people, 1,000 people will view it. And of course, those who understand it some will not even like it, but will definitely follow you to see what you post next. So yeah, and about TikTok, yesterday in the morning, I was scrolling through TikTok around maybe 10 a.m. So I find a live is the same as a space. I find them on live, and they were literally talking about Marshall Parliament. I was like, huh? And I don't know any of those people that were on that, on that live. Because I don't know most of them anyway, because I'm not always there. But when I found the live, I went to the profile, checked. These are big accounts. I think one of them is Uptop Boss. I think most of you know him. This guy always, he makes his videos, very educated videos. Then another one was Zuma Case, another one was Ghetto Speaker. Ghetto Speaker is the only one that I actually knew because one time he was posted on one of the spaces here. So yeah, I was so happy. Like, oh my God. So yeah, the message is moving. People are talking about it, and I listened in. I listened in for some time. So as I was listening, because I also don't know them, I didn't think they also knew me. So I just commented, thank you, comrades, good job, well done. And then all of a sudden, someone from the speaker says, this is a good guy. She's talking about it on Twitter. Please give her a mic. Maybe she knows something. Maybe she has said something. Then I'm like, what am I going to even say? I was passing by, guys. I wasn't here for this. Now, of course, it was a golden chance for me. I'm like, okay. Yeah, they gave me the mic. I accepted the mic. And of course, I told them whatever I told them. They asked me several questions because they were talking about it. But the truth is, they were not fully. Some of the things, of course, they didn't know, but they were talking about Marshall Parliament, what had happened. So they asked me all these questions about it, and of course, those that I knew the right answers, I told them, and of course I used their trust because they had almost 36K people on the live. So that was a very big number, and it was a golden chance for me to say, okay, now it's preaching time. Doesn't matter if I was just scrolling through, as long as I get a chance, of course I'll do the preaching. So yeah, we did the preaching because the guy was telling me that I started around 9:30. Their plan was to end at midday. But when I came, we literally preached until around 2-3 p.m. and we're like, yeah, so that was a good thing for me. We preached around 40K people. So yeah, that was a golden chance for me. So do not underestimate yourself. Just do what you can do, and it doesn't matter where you're preaching to. There will always be those people that will listen. Yeah. And I think I'll stop from there. I was saying, bring back our people, that he talks too much, but of course I still hold the problem of talking too much on this app. So I'll stop, because if you don't stop me, I'll preach the whole night and then have a headache in the morning. But yeah, I will yield back the mic to you.
Now, good girl. Now, we don't want you to stop, actually. Sometimes I don't know why. Now, yeah. It is
not to mind, now easy. You will all learn by fire. Because when I stop corruption, I will start a church.
Can I get close to Yunga Siga? Hey, Mundu, talk about your side, say over there. General Ida mean, finally, you shared the space, and go follow back. Boy, General Ida mean the second. Tell me, brethren, go and after us and so on. Unmuting her, talk to us, please.
All right, how are you, comrades? And first time, I'm going to kuno, but I respect you all.
Linda General, we're going to talk TikTok.
Yes, it may.
Hey, Jaliwang, so actually, there's an elder here who said that we try to speak some little bit of English, because maybe it's from an area or a region that may not understand Uganda purely. But to cut you short, brother, good girl, I be on TikTok, and younger wounded Ugandan. There's no requesting a microphone. Say this, well, so
this is my third time of joining. Active no. Well, naye ndabyenga omulimu gwe tukola eri ku TikTok neno gwe gutambula. I'm very happy about that. So the fact is, abantu abasinga banjagadde okujja kuno ku TikTok naye kugonde ku X. Naye the problem is baloza X ya luzungu luberere. Kati nze mbadde nsaba kantukubira mu Luganda abanakiwuliriza kijja basikiriza. Well, wadde kubanga wano waliwo intellectuals bangi ndoza kye kibaleetera okulowooza mbu X ya luzungu lwerere. Well, oluzungu telwandibadde bubi. Naye oluzungu ne waba intellectual tasobola kunyonyola bulungi omuntu wa wansi, kubanga our aim kutegeeza abantu ba wansi, kubanga bonna ba intellectuals abasinga babimanye bigenda mu maaso. Abesirwaza abalala just beefulanga batabira banenga babiraba. Naye omuntu wa wansi omutegeeza olina mutegeeza mu lulimi ki. Olulimi it's a strong point mu kulwanyisa ekintu kyonna ky'oyagala. So bwe olungi mbadde nsaba kweno buli omu olulimi lwe alumikisingemu at least olulimi lwe olwekya, kubanga emu yaffe kutegeeza bali. So waliwo omwami ayogeddeko ku restrategizing. Well, nze mbadde n'ekirowoozo, mbadde nteesa abatategeera Luganda nja kuddamu kye ngamba, how can we restrategize okutuusa message yaffe, kubanga our main message first of all kutegeeza abantu ba parliament kye twagala. Naye tugenda kikola tutya? Nerabidde obabuuza abakompleti bannange, nerabidde obabuuza mwasibye mutya, mwasuze mutya, munansonyiwa.
Owemula tuli mu lutalo tuyimiriza okutubuuza.
Kyetaagisa ekyo. Well, kakati the fact is mbadde gyababuuza kagambo kafa akeri fallen. Kakati the fact is mbadde nsaba ba MPs bano tumanyi gye basula. Isn't it so? We all know buli constituency MP asulawa. Mbadde nsaba before 28th nga tukamutatakinga eno gundi regional sittings. Naddala buba MP abakisimbyemu olukwongolo ne bakigezaako kidrivinga into a tribal settlement, ne bagezaako kidrivinga into a political division, ne bagezaako kidrivinga kubanga tumanyi ensonga yaabwe ebakozesa ekyo. First of all, beba owners ba hotels eziri engulu eyo. Bo batunudde nnyo ekyokuyingiza ensimbi targeting 2026, tebafudde nnyo ku bantu. Kakati mbadde nsaba tutandikire mu maka gaabwe. Tumanyi mbuno babeera wano. At least kugeti asangeke ebipande. Stickers nga tuzitaddeko nga waliwo activity egenda mu maaso eraga obutali bumativu. I swear we tubasala ku
general information general. Which constituency of Muvam constituency?
Zendika Wempe.
Okay, goli wa Michibuga. Mbadde manyi ntova mu kyalo. Ba MPs abasinga tebasula mu constituencies zaabwe. They don't even have their homes. What targeting homes ogenda zigwa mutolina ogenda basana. And then those abasula up country. Tebasula mu byalo basula mu kibuga namugongo bikitekera. Kadena balinayo amakaga bwe tebasula yo. Asula kilometers nga 5 10 okuva mu town okuva mu city.
All the MPs have homes in Kampala, isn't it? kati ngabana abenga abaklaka abawayo, they have homes in Kampala. So to attract media attention more, we have to follow them at their homes, at their gates. Tumufollowing emirundi ebiri kyali kwa takitya. Amawulire gajja kuba gatuuke n'ewaabwe ku kyalo. Then ekyalo kijja tegeera ddala why are these people following MP waffe? Then tujja kwatitulating issues ng'ono akoli we yagambye. Secondly, mbadde nsaba mujjeko ne ku gundi n'eri ewaffe oba mpita y'omukyalo naye nga awo awaffe wali so effective tugezezzaako nnyo okutirwanyisa okukijja ngeri gye babadde bagikozesa. Yali yakuwemula, yali yakuki, thanks to God. Now buli wogenda olabawo message ya change, message ya stop corruption, message ya ki. Entertainment kati agenda akenderako kati twakitulatinga issues. Wali munaite mutyawo walindanga X. Eri local version ya X. Era tukola nnyo videos, tukola nnyo lives. Oba eno gye muyita space. Nera issues ezimu ze twogerako. Era tu-inviting aba speakers. Ne tukubaganya ebirowoozo ne tufuna common answer ku kye tutawaanya. Nzira sitera nnyo kwogera nnyo naye kye mbadde nsaba tusobole okwidentifyinga abo ba MP we babeera. Yeyo eba first step ejja ku attractinga media. Then media ejja ku attractinga aboogezi abalala abawulirwa ab'oku byalo. Kubanga tedi MP atalina maka mu Kampala. Sigamba mu bulina patwavalinga okuva Rukiga paka Kampala. Ayinawo wabeera. So I hereby request, let's try to identify them. Let's try to identify their homes before 28th. You said they're going to start 28th, this regional sittings. Before 28th. Peacefully, buli omuntu muwe baluwa ye ne kye tulowooza akitunulemu wa kyabusiru. Bano ba MPs bali after money. Buli omu atunuulidde ssente tulidde tutya ezo ssente. What ezo 5 billion? Kati ngono Anthony Akol yagabye abantu baabwe even they have never got a chance. They don't have TVs. Naye kye kigaana TVs. Baba kwa ssente za rural electrification program bazirya. Kati what ezo ssente ne batemako ne batambuza ebikondo by'amasannyalaze. Abantu bali balina ssente but they don't have access to electricity. Eso nsonga ze tulina obanyonyola eyo. Ensonga endala ku printinga stickers, ku printinga ebipande. To be supplying you ahead of their city. Basobola okutuukayo ng'abantu at least bategedde ku nsonga lwaki abantu abamu bagamba tekigasa. Kiki bagenda okwatitulating eyo? Kiki bagenda okwogera for 1 week? Kibalemye okwogera eno. Singa bagenda for visibility study, it's okay. They are going to spend 5 billion just for okunywa kachai okwogera obwogezi. Then from there, ate basitulira empty heads for another region. Ako kamanyiro. Bwembate eyo yengeri yokayokero government wesazewo kuwa abantu bayo ssente bagezako harmonizinga enguzi tuluku ligo nenga banabe engulugola babawogana ennyo bagenda zente matema muziba yambeko mu bululu kati nolaba ono rasta waffe mwana wa Eastern natunulira omusajja nengamba man mejafa ya bani nogamba mbuno kyegomba okulaba usimanya mbuno jamu akwata ku Parliamentary Avenue abereko mu mbale bana tukyalina aba MPs oba tulina just empty jerrycans. Ye ensonga ye eyisa parliamentary sitting mu East embale mbuno balina ba MPs bali more than 600 abakola mu parliament buli mwaine motoka, so he would enjoy to see traffic jam in Mbale streets. That Rasta MP, imagine nga Mbale mulimu ebitundu ebitalina na nguudo abebuduuda main road yabwe nga bakubye ebitima nga bambuka eyo waggulu. Oya abebuduuda tebalina na bridges eziyingira mu byalo. People are suffering and you're just enjoying to see traffic jam in Mbale. With that traffic jam you spend 5 billions. Bana nze sijja kwogera nnyo. I just thank you guys. Mwena mukulikeyo kyetwali tumanyi bukizibu twakiyitamu, thanks to the Almighty. Nga bwenze tukiza bannaffe be tulina okuba nabo mu kooti on 29th. Fena twekubirize tubeereyo kuba bagala kikozesanga trick yabo kubiwanvuya naye twekubiriza alaba munne amugambe fena tubeereyo brothers and sisters. Hotep
oyo MP bamuyita Musera John we bubulo kati wova bubulo omanya tulina MP oyina kiwuta bubulo north Musera John.
That's a general talk. Brethren, big up. If TikTok has these kind of brains, That guy, to begin with, I have an account on TikTok and I've been there. I think that's where I saw you from, and I'm very happy that you're here. The other person I would like to really thank, because every time I go on TikTok, actual account here, it is his account that gives me an opportunity to see these lives. It is Mugisha. So Mugisha, abera yo nyo bakobe chivozi na chivozi chiri serious boy. So bro, thank you very much. Send me a DM. We shall keep in touch. Every time you have a space on TikTok, send me a DM. If I'm not so busy with X and all that, I will go there. Or you can even send me a link. edug soko sharing space sebo. I have gone to your timeline and you haven't shared this space. I think it is only right that your followers would also hear your views. So share this space for the better of Uganda. I want to give this opportunity first to Good Girl. You had your hand up, and then after Good Girl, we shall have Mad Ways.
Kale, thank you so much. I won't take much of the time. I think Twitter it's not by mistake, because spaces have just been introduced a few days ago. So before we only had 2 tweets. Uganda, it is not something that people could easily do. Kwanga right in Uganda speaking, it is quite different. By the way, when I get live, I get Uganda, kumalesa wa bili number non-stop. Naye ate nga tewunyisa n'abaana ba TikTok boogera oluzungu, so tebalowooza mbu batutiisatiisa mbu n'Oluganda biki biti. No, lwansonga nti nabo bakimanyi nti bw'oba oyagala, it's the same thing we're always emphasizing here. If you want to speak to omuntu w'ekashali, bw'oyogera naye mu Lunyankole, they will relate easily. So bakitegera bo nga content creators that if I want my audience to understand what I'm saying, nja kwogera olulimi lwabwe. When I joke, it is more funny. Some jokes are more funny in Uganda than in English, So that's why people label this place as abantu abogera oluzungu. But before no go get to so I think we are doing better. And attention to my internet spaces eno jezi. But was okuje no kujja ngoze kuwandika ate katijukira bana Uganda naturally si bantu bakwagala bintu bya bitabo babiko wadda tabakabya kuwandika bakateeka wali kamera ye akugambe kyakugamba kigwe, But I can assure you there is that blending, that the gap is becoming narrower. That is the good news. Kati bali batuvaako nga naffe twabavaako jawo tetusobola ne byaffe tebabisobola ne tubeera. But the good news is bridge again, tugenda funa bridge with people like the previous speaker coming and telling us what to do. What to carry tufuna obula nando pesa bali sinakutegeera bulungi yonna tuuse n'embula nga sibitegeera bulungi. But of course with practice we will get there. And if we have people coming from here going there, coming from there, coming here, that's the only way we can bridge these spaces. Naye nga si abaana bali bamanyi oluzungu era tembeera n'ogamba their brains are down there. Hey, you joke. You just need to give them time, But they just and most of them are, of course, are Gen Zs. But Gen Zs they don't care about your English, they don't care about your dressing code, they don't care about masuti, This is a generation that will say with my degree I speak my Acholi and unapologetically. I don't have to speak English for you to feel like I'm intelligent. They understood that speaking English and wearing suits does not equate to intelligence. So it doesn't matter. But it is a good place. It is something that I have gotten interested into. Even never was Makadama. I take out Chinese about one at the back of the mind is Agamaton president one. That is the level of how they want to change. Never entertainment. Some sort of change. Account of Kura or change fast. Kwetega nakocha kyakuzalina account ku TikTok nga bwolaba nti bw'otwala message of change, your account will grow. Like I said, mine will always wait and put their messages of change, and of course people can follow it. Within a few months, I have almost 20K, naye bw'ogenda ne bwemola bwemozi na babemozi babagoba era tugenda tugetize like Uganda, if you're not serious and you're not talking sense, people no longer want to listen to you. So that's the good news. So I yield back the mic to you for the next speaker. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Good Girl. I wanted to echo the submission of our brother General Idi Amin Dada II. It was really some practical things we could do. One of the things he said that I really liked was we could go to those places before these sittings and we preach our message, advance our plans before the parliament. We'd like to be ahead of them, actually. We are ahead of them, definitely, but that is, a physical way to display our movement. And there are so many beautiful things that he said that I think also he said the MPs that are in support of moving the parliament across the country, especially those who attack the ones opposing the idea as tribalistic kind of leaders and all that, to target those ones. So that is also straight. He has a target, and these MPs, we know them. It's going to reach to that level. People like if you're a thief, you get to be called a thief. Period. Church. We are in front of church every Sunday, looking at someone donating 100 bags of cement, knowing very well you bagged over 1,000 bags or plus of cement. So this kind of shit has to stop, really. Nze Muganda wange General, I encourage you, boy, your soldiers, but recruiting because usually to be a midnight shift. It's been a TikTok like from X. I find you guys are still on. So we usually have spaces that run up to morning, especially on protest days. So we are going there. We go there and we listen. Sometimes I be there. I have I think around 25 followers, something like that. Yeah. So now you to
bring back our people.
Yo,
just 1 more minute. When we were here, someone proposed on visiting the MPs that she actually said it, and I think we should not just throw it in the basket. We should think about it because being a peaceful protest is if sooner you have 3 homes, and if any of your homes you find a message, definitely it will get to you. The most important thing is we should first identify which MP are we visiting, where do they stay. He proposed something that we had also talked about, and I think we need to digest it before the 28th or 26th, before they move this the parliament. I think we need to peacefully demonstrate in these people's homes. Take posters, do something someone wajja suggestinga kasasiro kwata kasasiro tumukubeera ya kasasiro ku mulyango.
Posters are enough. We just have to put those posters, stickers, stop corruption. Oba motoka oba abakinga kulia wali goita neka sticker ko you put behind stop corruption. You know, but I don't think like I don't think we need to pull up that radicalism yet. That would be the last part.
No.
To come with bees.
Okay, no, I'm not saying the bees. That bees will come also. Well, now we demonstrated what was there. So you don't think radicalism is a radical person anyway. Well, as a soka, you know, even at home, I don't even teach these small kids. When I tell you 1, 2, 3, I already said 3, 2, 4. That's why I'm not a good teacher. So these please don't listen. Together, stickers, as you say. Of course, that's okay. But most importantly is we've got to make our messages very clear. It doesn't matter why just like we went to parliament knowing that it was or situation. So I think his idea is very, very, very important. It doesn't matter if someone is sleeping there or not. But as long as we identify, go your guy, go your last second, okay. We check our message there. Written, clear, loud, and clear. Some of these people have stickers, but you what busy. Anyway, use back the mic, but that suggestion should be on top of the list.
Yeah, thank you, good girl. I can't believe I can call you good girl after saying you're that radical. Anyway, you're radical good girl. Let me say that.
The only good girl in this town.
For sure. I want to encourage you guys to share the space. Please, Madways, take over. The mic is yours.
Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. You guys, so TikTok people are busy. To the extent you can live your son and the Yanko in Chigaboka, busy at the Comama Guebumu. Consong agent they are of Chagara MP. It's in them free that you are immediately very Kuchikumi. The video Kuchikumi Banava, Zabuza. No one that carry Pasua Matagi to get late money to Matagi. Never to manipulate what you guys and the number that they are. To again them to an only that they are in Pilavuras. At Banava City and out of a single Mobile omuzanyo tugubatuusizenga parliament natibana kugenda ggulu kuba kino kyonna bakirimu oba wakirinaaki ate tubayira kile kintu kyagenda kumobilizing so nakozesa aba opponents baabwe tugeze kati nze ndi wa Kyadondo East MP wange munyingi muwada so okozesa abali bawagira eyali opponent be tetubakunga ne batumulumba kikyayogera ku ngozi gena maaso mu parliament ogwo omuzanyo tusobola ogubaganisizaako mwebale
yeah, guys, share the space. Also to remind you guys, if you can go in the comment section, there's so much information. Among that, there are some comments that I would love to read specifically. There is one from Jaimo Ali. She says, please donate to 711-952 and dial *165*3#. That's a Momo code, I guess. It's for fundraising for flyers and stickers. Each flyer and sticker is 10 shillings. That's right, 10 shillings, 10 Ugandan shillings. That you can even contribute to like 1,000, you know. Besides that, you personally, you could make this yourself. If you have anyone who's a graphic designer who could make you these materials, stop corruption and stickers, we need to move ahead. We need to penetrate our communities and give them these materials to be aware, to be equipped. And you could also localize that. So, we don't really, this is what I also responded to someone who was telling me that if we are trying to stop Parliament from moving to other areas, we may need to use English, and like using Luganda will not be the only. I was like, look, if you can speak your language, you come and also say the same thing in your language. We should not complicate these things, guys. Don't make it look like we only know English, unless if you really know English, there's 100% of people who will say these things in English, but if we have an opportunity of someone who breaks it down in other languages, it should not be, to be looked at like it's going to derail the movement or anything. We are tribeless and people can speak in whichever language. We are peaceful. We want Anita to reside. It's as simple as that. Let's go to Prince Body. I think it was Brayo then Prince Body. Yeah, Brayo. Brayo, unmute. Okay, you've dropped. Prince Body.
Good evening. You just confirm to me if I'm loud.
You're loud and clear, please. Good evening.
So I want to first of all thank you guys for this the persistence. The way thing is going continuously. Everyone is talking about TikTok. Personally, I think I've taken time without going to TikTok, maybe 2 to 3 weeks. But my videos there, I think the recent ones were medical. My YouTube is also just fully medical. But with what is happening, of course, we see that it's very necessary for us to also get involved there. Though TikTok, we are aware that those guys don't sleep, and what I've loved from them is that they do in the local language and they have following. But also, I realize the good girl has a very huge following there. So as we be doing here, Twitter Space, it is possible for you to broadcast this Twitter Space as TikTok Live. If you don't know how, maybe someone can show you, such that you leave it there live. You don't mind who is viewing and who is not viewing. With the time they start viewing. That is my suggestion, that as we are doing here Twitter Space, someone can broadcast it as TikTok Live. Let me go straight to my points of today. First of all, the regional seating, we are aware that, number one, it is a political move by AA and her clique. Of course, the clique now, we know the likes of Mpuga, Anita Mong. Of course, we cannot rule out that the deputy speaker is part of them. It is the same clique, only that he is kind of a smart man, but he's as dirty as they are. So it is a move that they want to go to the different regions of the country, such that by the time they are done, they come when central is a bit calm. Because if you have noticed, from the time we put pressure, AA has not been chairing parliament. Of course, people say what we are doing is failing, but the impact is there. Who doesn't know how Anita Mong loves so much to chair parliament? If she gave birth and came back to parliament in 2 weeks, everyone was like, wait, isn't this lady supposed to be for maternity leave? Like, we all know how much she loves to chair parliament, but the pressure is there. You cannot say what we are doing is in vain. It is not true. So to me, it is a move that she has calculated that, okay, let's go to the different regions. By the time we come back, around here will be cool. Of course, those regions they are going, it's very obvious she will be the one chairing parliament. She wants to chair parliament. Of course, they have a lot of immoral things they want to pass, but she can't sit beside. Here, she's unable to sit and chair parliament here. So she wants that chance of chairing it when they are out of Kampala. So to me, that is it. The part of stealing money, it is true. The woman is putting up a lot of assets that we see that logically her schools cannot produce it, her hospital cannot produce it. People who are running medical businesses know that there's no money in medical business, especially if you're up country like hers is. And we saw back then the documents also showed that some of the staffs there are actually among the names that are recorded as staffs in parliament, receiving money from parliament. So she also wants money to run her things. That is one. But to me, the major thing is they want to run away from the question of accountability. Because when you look at the people who are supporting it, just take a look from the side, our side in northern Uganda, you look at the likes of Mapenduzi. Mapenduzi is this guy who came as independent. Nup gave him a position in the shadow cabinet, and then later on, when he started conniving with NRM, they tried to drop him, and the speaker insisted with the NRM people. So that is Mapenduzi is among those ones, and he has lost ground from home. Those are the people who are supporting her. And then when you see other people, there are people who are sure they are not coming back to come 2026. So they want to fall with others. They are not falling alone. So that is their move. But the main mastermind is to run away from the question of accountability. So people are suggesting we go and visit MPs. It is a good move. Peacefully, you can go and visit those MPs. I have a particular suggestion. People in these villages listen more to radios. And you see, radio talk shows in the villages are not expensive. I've personally lived in Gulu and done radio talk shows. But mine was majorly health talk shows. Because normally, you see, if you're paying for 30 minutes, it's normally 400, 500. 1 hour is normally around 700. If they have overcharged you, it's about 1.2 million. So my suggestion is, we have been arrested for fighting corruption. We are still persisting, but this should go further than we can control. I'm saying let's go to radios, pay for the airtime, and we'll speak to the villagers because we have the regions. We can go to because we are not a political party. We don't expect police to come and stop us from having the radio talk shows, and they may not even be expecting us. But we time these evening hours when people are settled home, we pay for that talk show. 30 minutes, mostly we can afford to pay for an hour. People can contribute. We organize like 4 people go to north, 4 people go here, 4 people go here, and you have an hour radio talk show. Have some people speaking the local languages around there, others speaking English. And to me, that is not something hard. And then it can be something continuous because it is our generation. We don't expect the elders to be part of it. They failed to speak when it was their time. They failed to act when it was their time. We don't expect to see them act now. So to me, I would bring in that point of radio talk show. It is very useful that if we have people going for a talk show in Gulu, before these people sitting riches, we go and teach the masses that, you see, this and this and this. They are saying that this is to bring development here, but we know that the people bringing food are from Kampala, Serena. We know that the people who are going to bring the tents, if it is there, you know that is going to be Balam events. Then you know that if there are people who are, there's nothing they are going to acquire from the locals. And they are talking about sleeping in lodges. For example, the hotels in Gulu, the big ones are known. You're either in Acholi Inn or you're in Boma. Those are not owned by the locals there because that is the only place they will sleep in. You don't expect them to sleep in these other lodges of 25,000, 30,000. Maybe they are saying they will take their development by buying prostitutes around there, but there is no way. They will never buy anything from the local market. That one has to be rest assured. With the way this, we know our members of parliament. So we don't see them taking there. Someone is saying if that 5 million is brought to the region, there is no version of it where it comes to the region. Every service provider is being brought from central here. And every service provider is one of them. So this message, we need to go and teach the people there that you see there's nothing coming here. What is coming here is a bunch of people that are coming to sit under a tent and do the very thing they were doing when they are in Central. Because when they are here, you see what they are doing. They are legally chasing Zake from the commission. What are they doing? Nyamatama, or watching Nyamatama is bringing chaos of something outside. Then the matters affecting the people are not being discussed. There's nothing they are taking to these regions. It is just a bunch of corrupt officials that are going to have fresh air in the different regions. They are going to take a tour at the taxpayers' expenses. So this message, to me, I feel we need to go and teach those people, spread the message, because people in the villages are ignorant. Of course, there are those that are open, that are informed, but we need to go and talk on those radios, if you ask me. And if we are willing to do so, me, I'm willing to be part of those who can get involved, because I realize that in most cases we talk here, bring suggestions, and we don't execute them. If we are willing, if people who are willing, you can inbox me, and then we start from there. And then I'm also planning to start making a video about a certain book. There's this book I told you guys that Nana Mwafrika, this activist, gave me. The book is short, 51 pages. It speaks about dictatorship, and it properly depicts how Museveni came with his group. Our mothers welcomed them, they got into power, and then they have turned against Ugandans. How they are suppressing, how propaganda is being used by the current powers. But I'm going to start making videos of it. I'm only waiting for her to confirm with the writer about, because the book has copyright law. I don't want to get into issues, and I assured her I don't have money to pay for the things of copyright. Just talk to him. I want to explain that book to Ugandans. That is what I have, I think, for now, unless someone has other things. But I'll keep around and keep talking. Yes, Good Girl is even asking a question, or is talking something I don't.
Yeah, I'm asking you a question, please, for that. You said the talk shows are about 500 to 1 million, something like that. Have you? Can we try? Idea. What do you think you can try to find the first talk show, and then maybe we can start from there? Most of us don't do it because no one wants to take accountability of something. But now that you've got an idea and you want to work on it, I am suggesting that we take the first move. I'll be one of the people that will help. Maybe we'll first start with 500. That would not be so hard for us to get, because let's see, how many people are we here? About 60 people. How much we need? We'll definitely collect that as soon as possible. So as soon as you can get a program, let me know. We will fundraise for the first talk show, and let's see how far we can go. Because I'm thinking most of these radio stations are still and they may refuse to give us airtime.
You were chopping off. I didn't get it properly. I don't know whether
I also experienced the same. Good Girl, I don't know who is in your network. I think corruption is fighting back on your phone. So
okay. So you missed everything that I said, or
not really,
okay, let me just repeat
not really everything, but I think it's yeah. Please repeat.
Yep. Okay. Me, my thing is, I'm saying, Jesus. I'm saying someone keeps calling me. That's why I think you're not hearing me. Exactly. What I was saying is, please.
Good Girl, mute.
I'm failing to get her also. Then as she comes back,
I think I'll just come back and
later. Yeah, please.
Okay. Then maybe let me make this point. I needed Agora right now is not here, but I think someone can reach out to them. I would wish they give us a printout of the list of those MPs that are in support of this regional sitting, like a list with their contact, because I realize they are not very many. They are not very many, and they are all not NRM. Some are opposition, some are NRM. If we could have a list of them with their contacts, then we could do an exhibition on each of them, and we make calls. We make calls the way we did last time. We could do that. Then let me wait for the Good Girl. I think she was saying I find out the price for these radio talk shows. If that is it, then I can get the feedback even tomorrow by around 10 a.m. I will have found, and they can easily book for us the exact hours that we need, and we get around 4 people to go and have a discussion.
Yeah, I mean that is a conversation to have probably in Hadiam. But Jamo, your hand was up, I think. Yeah, we are coming to you, Henry. Jamo, your hand was up.
I want to address Principal D. Principal D, what we said about some things here, you are not going to point a finger to anyone. If you can hold the talk shows, and then we will donate for the talk shows. I don't know if it really makes sense. Because personally, I had reached out to Dr. Morgan and asked him to come up with an online talk show, and then we will invite someone from each region to talk to their people. It means we will need someone on ground in each district to distribute this kind of information down there. Meaning we will need someone to get this message from Dr. Morgan and the Good Girl, and then share it whether on WhatsApp or make sure that they mobilize on the phone. Because one thing you should know, Principal Dean, if they get you, you won't come out again. That is one thing you should know. If you go now, if they get you again, you will not come back. So we need to be very careful. You need to be very careful. Yes, you want to have a talk show in Gulu. I'm not saying it can't happen, but Museveni's brother is there. That is one thing you need to think about. And all these talk shows, all these radio stations, I do not think they will give us space because they have things here who are listening. So I think we need to find something that can take this information on the ground without risking your life. Because trust me, believe me, if they get you, they will not bring you out.
YouTube channel.
I think
hang on. It may not necessarily be a YouTube channel, but we can find a way. We can just let me say it in Uganda. Maybe it will come out better. We need to sit down and think about a solution that will not hurt him and it will not hurt us. Because when it comes to radio stations or TV stations, these people will do anything at this point to suppress our messages. So before we do the talk shows, can we please get down to the flyers first? Let's throw this information there first, so that by the time we are holding a talk show, people are listening. Because right now, even if that talk show happened, when people do not know what is on the ground, people will not listen. We need to first throw flyers. This is something that is a little bit secure, so that by the time we are saying there is a talk show in Gulu, we are all tuned in, whether in Kampala or anything. Even if it has to be an online thing, people will be able to listen. I don't think there's any village right now in Kampala where there is not even a person with a smartphone. So that is something you need to sit down and think about, because your life is more valuable. As much as you want to do it, you need to think about it. You do not take Saleh for granted. He's also a hyena, just like his brother. So I want you to sit down, think about it properly. Then you can discuss it in the DM with the good girl and Morgan. Because personally, I reached out to Dr. Morgan and asked him, can't you come up with a talk show? And then you start inviting different people from different regions. You can, because we are trying to represent, we want these messages to go to every tribe so that people don't say we did it just in Kampala. So we expect to get something like that. Yes, we want you to go to these talk shows, but we don't want you to disappear. Today, a friend of mine told me, be careful. If these guys get you, you won't come out. So Principal D, I know you're doing this for a good cause, but you need to first go and do your survey and then see what radio station is willing to stand with you. You'll wake up and then none of them wants to do anything with you, because they have people right here listening to what we are talking about. So before you risk it, do your homework. Because this time round, if they get you, we will not be able to bail anyone out. We need to be as smart as we can. So if you're going to do a talk show on a radio or on television, you need to be really smart, my brother. You cannot risk it. You can't give it a risk. If they don't get you, they'll take your family. So that is something you need to think about. So yes, and the other thing is, you are a leader on your own. You are your own leader. So if you're going to do this, you have to know that you are the leader for this. Whoever you're going to work with also becomes a leader. Because once they curb you, the rest keep going. That is why we are leaderless. So these are things I think you need to sit down and think about. Because we are trying as hard as we can to make sure we don't give this man any violence. Because he's actually waiting for us to riot. And that is why the other time he was bringing vans of tires to burn. So that he can tell people, you see, they weren't peaceful. They were thugs. But Ugandans actually did not understand the message. So right now, before we take the message on radios or do it on YouTube or anything, I think right now we need to tell people what is going on. So that when we wake up and tell people, tune in, there is a YouTube thing or Facebook or whatever, people will tune in because they know what they are listening to. But before I talk show, people will not listen. They will have something to divert you about it. Anyway, that is what I have for a thought.
Thank you, Ali. Prince Fodi, as you wind up, then we go to Henry, then Gen Z. Thank you, Jamo.
Right. I have nothing else to say, but she has spoken sense. And it is true what she's saying, that you can't take the likes of Saleh for granted. But I'm okay. But I've lived in Gulu, and if I tell you that the number of people who are connected online anyway, it is very little. And what she's saying is okay, but also radio talk shows can just connect you online. You don't need to be there physically. So for safety, maybe we can pay for them to connect us online, and we have our discussions online for the particular time that we can afford, and we prevent going there physically for safety reasons. I think we shall think that out. I will inbox the good girl and hear from her side also. But I assure you that people in up country, not majority, are connected to online the way we are. That most of the information that we talk here is concentrated within here central. Then when you go up country, a few receive it, and even the few that receive it have issues teaching the rest. And then you'll find that up country politics is not mostly being exercised by the youth, because most of the youth up country, I do not mean to insult anyone, but most of the youth up country are not normally these that are educated. The educated have all left home and are in central. Those that are in up country working, you find that they are not from such tribes. They educated from maybe central or from other regions and have gone are working that side. So you find that the people that participate in politics mostly up country are the locals, and those locals are old. They are not really this young. Our ages, to find active ages of ours in the village right now is not easy. So we shall think of a way of making sure that our message gets broadcasted via radio, because the up-country people listen to radios. TV is like in Gulu, we don't have a TV channel. There's one called Go TV, but it is not stationed in Gulu. And how many people watch TV up-country that are really native of there? So I'll inbox the good girl and we think about something. But thank you anyway. I had not thought about that for safety reasons. It is good.
Prince Fodi, I am not actually saying that you cannot do the talk shows. What I'm saying is we need the first phase, the flyer phase. So by the time we are saying there is a talk show, it does not matter whether people in the villages are illiterate. They may not be able to have gone to school, but I don't think there is anyone that cannot read their language. You understand? And when it comes to these border guys have their friends. When it comes to the taxi guys, they have their friends. So you can't outrule that. What I'm saying is, right now, what we need to do for upcountry, because we are very well aware that most of the people upcountry that are left there are old people, and then those who feel they don't fit in Kampala. What we are saying right now, the simplest step to start with is awakening by flyers. You get a bunch of flyers. We send a bunch of flyers in your language and in English, and then they are distributed in Gulu. And then you look at that, you look at the results. Those results give you what to do next. But right now, you cannot say you're going to hold a talk show when people don't know what is going on. People need to first know what is on the ground for them to react to the second phase. So you need to test the first phase, because we have actually seen what flyers can do here in Kampala. So we need to find out if we took these flyers to Gulu, Jinja, will people actually read and give their views? Their views give you the second step. So before you risk it for any talk show, you need to first know the views of how people feel. Because literally, let's be very honest, Ugandans know this is happening, but they don't know what it is. Today, I asked a border guy that, you guys heard about these people who are walking? And then he told me, Madam, so it means people actually know what is actually going on, but need to understand what it is all about. So we need the first phase of this whole thing. And the only way we can do that is by all of us holding hands, and then we'll be able to put flyers in all these districts so that people get to talk about this topic. So that by the time we are saying we are having an online talk show, or everyone wants to listen in what we are saying. We want to give everyone attention away from this parliament. Let them take their parliament. Even if they want to take it to Nairobi, they can take it. We don't mind. What we need to do right now is awoke Ugandans. Is like tell them, you know what, this is what it is. But before we do talk shows and everything, we need to the same way we woke up and talk, we said we are going to walk to see what the president will do, and then he got army men on the road. Now it's the same thing we have to do. We need to educate our people with what is going on. That is the first step we need to do. Secondly, whatever other decision comes into play, it comes from the first laid option of the flyers. Because we are giving people what to talk about, and then see what people get to talk about. While we are flying with these people, we record. And then we don't even want NBS or UCMIBT, because they will come and take credit and even still lie about it. We want to be the first people to televise this, like to put it online, so that people get to see what is actually going on. We need to awoke Ugandans, because Ugandans do not know what is going on. Yes, they hear about March to Parliament, but they're asking, what is it all about? People are just stranded waiting for the next step. So while you have lived in Gulu, but you need to sensitize your people through flyers. Then that gives you what next. Okay, Gulu has reacted like this. What next?
Okay.
I don't know if it makes. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense actually. But to me, this is how I really see it. You cannot hold a talk show when people don't know what you are actually talking about. You need to hold a talk show, and people will be listening in because they already know this is happening. So by the time they say, "Oh, Prince Padi is going to be on this," everyone, trust me, will be tuned in. The same way they tell people Bobi Wine is going to be here, and everyone runs. It should be the same thing with you. That right now you're telling your people, this is what it is, and we are going to have a talk show about it. People will tune in, and you'll be surprised with the results. But before you make that move that will get you in danger, please sit down, think about it plainly, and then you can go ahead. If the talk show will work for you, well and good. But just know the talk show is going to take you with Ngatofunya results. First, we fly, Gulu, and see, and then we look from afar and see what people are going to say about what we are doing. That gives you step 2 to go ahead. Thank you, Wounded Soldier.
Henry, OG share the space. OG lift. Hen Rambo. Share the space.
Shared.
I was just requesting you to share the space, but it's not your turn yet. It's Henry's. Henry, go on.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. I'm really, really happy to be on this platform, and I've been listening patiently to all the meetings.
Henry, I can't hear you.
You can tell me. Okay, hold on for me. Can you hear me now?
So now Henry Omulia, do you hear him?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear him. I can hear him. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I think you guys can hear me. I just wanted to thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be part of this project, or to be part of this platform. I really thank you so much. But I just wanted to put my view as well, but I'm going to be using 2 languages. I'm based in South Africa, and I've been watching you guys patiently, and I really love what you're doing. Naye ngenda kubanga njagala soko kwebaza wali omwami yayogedde ebigambo byadde birungi nnyo yayise Idi Amin, General Idi Amin. Yayogedde ebigambo byadde birungi nnyo ng'agamba nti it's very good to use both languages, like n'omuntu wawansi asobola okutegeera ki ekigenda maaso. First and foremost, I want to salute all people who abaali mu lutalo olwasooka olw'enguzi okulaba nga bagenda march to the parliament. Nankubadde nti kitwali twagala okusinga okulaba nga omukyalo yakulira parliament alekulira, naye twakola record esinga okuba ey'amaanyi ate nga newankubadde abantu bangi tebasobola kukyeyimbamu, naye nte tuwaliwo likodi yakolebwa whereby nti byalagibwa ku mawulire agenjawulo CNN ono South Africa babiraga nga balaga okwekalakasa okukaddewo. So kati nze kyembadde nsaba nalisabye nti nno singa kisoboka nti ne tuba nga ekintu ne tuinvolvingamu abantu nabana abawansi otya nti abantu nnyonnyola ntya nti essaawa kakati twetaaga kiri kyakolebwa kyali kirungi kati twetaaga tukyongeremuko amanyi nti kino ekigenda okubeerawo ne General Museveni agezinga tukibaddewo tutya singa tusandikira abantu ab'enjawulo oba nga egambye flyers ndaagadde nnyo nimanya nti netumanya eziyisibwa obubi mu ggwanga lyaffe kati nga sector education nomanya nti abasomesa tebafuna bulungi musaala ani ayogerera abasomesa nimubawandiikira netumanya nti tumaze abasomesa tugende ku basawo tebasasula musaala gwabwe balina embeera gye bayitamu netumanya nti ani ayogerera abasawo abo abo ne mubawandiikira otegeera bwe tuva ku basawo okugeza ku basuubuzi essaawa kakati bali mu maziga bakaba nabo ne mubawandiikira nze ngamba nti singa groups ez'enjawulo zirina kukwatagana netumanya nti tufunye abasomesa tufunye abasawo tufunye abasuubuzi tufunye abeducation mu bimu endala ekintu kigenda kubeera very successful very successful singa tugezaako bawandiika nitubaga nti kino omulimu gwaffe gwakulaba nga tulwanisa enguzi kubanga enguzi evaawa twaga tumanye nti enguzi eviira mu parliament. Museveni alina akakodyo kakozesa. You guys, I want to be very careful about the system guys is using nti amanya nti yagala kuliringa face ye berengeri eri clear nakozesa bano banita mongo bano batayobwa n'ataliko bakozesa bebafulumya sente bakozesa enguzi kati singa tusobola tukwata secretary ya parliament eyo netumanya nti okay Museveni alesa amajegi kati ffe tugende ku member of parliament bano ngembadde mukyogerako kintu kirungi nnyo jeno omuvubuka yagambye nti singa tulumba buli ntumanya nti nno bano abasajja babeerawa tubasulire ebipapula bino ebempulya bitwawulira nga bagamba nti basudde ekipapula ewagundi bagenda kutema abantu kati mwenga temuli bakutema nene musuula ekipapula nti gundi bamusuulidde ekipapula parliament wegindi bamusuulidde bonna babawoninze nti kuguno gokka tujja tumazeeko ayimira mu kubo lyaffe namwe mumuyolya mbuyolezi kati n'ekirala kyenjagala okwogerako nga maliriza ku yensonga gye mbadde mwogerako eyogamba nti nno oba nti mukiteeke ku radio oyo you pay to the media to zino radio ezenjawulo over TV stations. I think it would have been a very good idea, but I'm going to support the lady who has been talking right now. You have to be very, very smart and very, very careful about this, whereby General Museveni is looking for anyone to arrest. He's looking for a person who said that, no, I think this is the leader of this thing. And because remember, they're saying that, no, this thing, the China leader, it's leaderless, the China group, so we have to be very smart, very, very, very intelligent to say that TV, platform is let me give an example. In fact, everywhere. Aitibwa teacher Rumbuye nitubamu ne Woman Ruseka laptop boss ono musajja aitibwa pastor something abera ku YouTube oyo baina balise n'abamanyi baina following yamanyi so singa tusobola okukwata abantu tubagamba mulaba twaga tweseko platform zammwe naye nga tukunga bukunzi bantu ba wansi kubanga Rumbuye ogumulaba n'omuntu wa wansi awuli amanye erinnya Rumbuye babawuliriza. So I think it was my idea era nja kusanyuka nnyo nga mukikubyeko ebirozo naye nga nze nabadde ngamba nti ekintu kya TV kino kigenda kwongera okuspendinga sente okugyako nga mufunye airspace y'obwereere kati ngono omwami benalabye eyabadde interviewinze omuvubuka omuyimbi nga bakuba ekintu kya corruption ekyo ne mulaba nga bambye afa era mupostinze mupostinga in fact kwali ku gundi yange nasharinze gundi ye
nga togisharinze mukulu
ewa eno ngenda gisharinga
kati before you proceed. Sharing it, we have
Okay,
things about sharing it. You cannot come and say all these beautiful things here and you don't want your followers to listen to them. What are you saying? Corruption?
Okay, one thing you manye eguni no ndibadde ko nenze sibitegeera bulungi nabadde ngamba oyabuulizi ojja kubinyamba ku byo sharinga
kale genda maaso naye baba
naye nga
okulaba ku YouTube how they share the space on X olala ojo sharing space people must be informed nga bwogamba era nzikiriziganya naawe genda maaso sebo
goge mazima kubanga wogamba omuvubuko yagambye nti ku TikTok kwe bali bangi nze sikiriza nti nno abantu basobola kwogera kubanga Uganda in Africa English understand English no muntu wa wansa asobola oluzungu antasobola no esaka kate twetaka kumena ku muntu ogera
Henry
bade manyi oje
anze chengezaako gamba nti esaba yakakati kitugezaako kwa twetaaga omuntu abamanyi oluzungu batamanyi oluzungu kazilonga nti message egenze maaso abantu abo tubanirize era omwami abadde kuno yeyita General Amin mbadde ngenda musabaze ngenda mutika buvunanyizibwa agenda akunga abantu bonna abali ku TikTok abagambe baje batandika okugula wono Twitter kubanga ku Twitter kuliko abantu abamanyi kuliko bana abasajja bano abalowooza nti eggwanga baali wamba lyabwe bali kuno bayitirivu nnyo ze mbalaba yanze ngezaako nyo bachalenjinga wano mukwogera wano ngezaako bachalenjinga nolaba ngo yayogera ekigambo ekyobusiru olwokuba nti ye afuna akamere okuva mu nsawo z'abo abasajja bali kuno tebali ali ku TikTok twetaaga tubalumbe wano twetaaga abantu wano ekitinye nnyo emitwalo ng'esatu egy'abavubuka abavudde ku TikTok bonna baje bayiike kuno zaabike wano emipiira naye tubalumbeyo owekitegeera naye nga nze nabadde nsaba ogenda ku ofuna space ku TV oba ku radio singa tusobola okuba nga abamu kubasobola okutuukira ku balumbuye kuba bamasaaba ba laptop bossi bawuma lukiseka ne tukozesa ku platform zaabwe ne twongerayo obubaka buno kigenda kukola enjawulo y'amaanyi nnyo so n'olwebigambo byo I beg to submit.
Thank you Henry. Naye next time before you reach out to Umaru and all those names you have said, you yourself you have to give yourself responsibility to move the message. Toyinza tandika okujja wano n'otugamba what to do when you cannot move the message brother. Lero mbadde polite I allowed you to speak because Ogambia Tobi Manyi and your submission has been good. Chesi Manyi, are you a Muganda? Because Wabato Muganda, want it what they even in your local language. But Waboli Muganda, that's okay. But next time, please make sure you know how to request for the mic, so also know how to share the space. It is even easier to
bring back people. Next timeline you could be sharing, we are tweeting at here. Guys, I'm very serious. This is a new generation guy,
Man, but they follow anyway. I hope you have that spirit of your country, like you said. Your words are good, now your actions are zero as of now, brother. Maybe there are others I need to know. Now you want to X, you have not shared the information, and you have a lot of people on your timeline.
I think sorry to jump in. I think you can check. I think I tried to share it. Please try to check.
But guys, sharing a space around. If you're going to request for the mic, which you should do, please share the space. OJ, the mic is yours, please. No. Gen Z, what do I know before OJ? I think. Yeah, Gen Z, then OJ.
Yes. Good evening, guys. I hope you hear me very well.
Yes, go on, please.
Okay. Effectively, thank all of you about the one minute space. Mukolo mugamani bannange. Mwebale nnyo, mwebale ddala. Mukolo mugamani nnyo abaliko leka nabasharing amanyi like okuva olwedda babagamba musharinge nekintu kirina kubeera like nga bali mu school kubanga kitukakatako buli lwejja wano sharinga ate nga buli wano ku space like salo kebereko profile ya